Hello, my friends. Welcome to Papercrafting Playdate. Today is November 14th, 2025. This is episode 163 of Papercrafting Playdate, and we are going to tackle, we don't even have to say we're tackling it. We're going to do it because it's so easy. A new card template today. This is card template number 33, and thank you so much for joining me. So before, I'm just making sure we are streaming. I think we are waiting for Facebook to pop up. So I wanted you to look at my shirt before I sit down and get busy. I just returned from Stampin' Up's leadership event called Backstage. It's for demonstrators who have team members, and we had training for 2 days. And lots of fun in between all the wonderful training. There we go. Thank you, Diane. Hello, everyone. So anyway, I want to show you how, as you can imagine, based on the beautiful products that Stampin' Up has, how they decorate for an event is just like you would think. So give me a second here, and I'm going to show you some of the swag that we got at this event because it's so cute. So the trip was in Las Vegas, which is why my shirt says Vegas, but it had kind of a Western theme. And so look at this fun bag. Well, it's just a little canvas tote that we all got, and it has all the little fun little Western things, cactus and snake and hats. So cute. And then this was our folder. So this is our notebook that we filled up with notes, and just from front to back, everything is just themed so beautifully. So of course the decorations throughout, you could frame that. Isn't that cute? I want to put a little air bubble with her. It says, "It's not my first rodeo," right? Put that in a little frame. Here's our name tags. And the lanyard that we got matches. So everything was just coordinated so beautifully. And I show you this so that, because I know you'll appreciate all of those details that make things so great. Just like when you're putting a project together and all of your stuff coordinates, right? So one of the other things we got to take away as a sneak peek is the next mini catalog. This one doesn't even start till January, but demonstrators are getting to order from this mini catalog starting next week. So we get early ordering, and I can tell you I haven't even opened it yet. I brought it home in my suitcase yesterday, and I haven't had a minute to look at it. So I can't show you the inside yet. And I haven't even seen the inside yet, but I will definitely. Okay, we're going to take a look at some cards before we get started on our template. Thank you so much for saying hello. Hello, everyone. So whenever you send me cards in the mail, I share them with everybody because I love to showcase your work, because everybody's creativity generates more creativity, right, and inspiration for us. So this is from Ginger. She's a stamping friend, and she created this spooky little scene with dies. I like how she incorporated that punched with a house. I forget what Humble Home, I think it was called. It's retired now, maybe. Can't keep track. This is really cute, Ginger. Thank you so much for doing that. And then she put a little ghost on the inside for her message, so it's like a little spooky surprise. I love it. This is from my friend Cheryl, and she has been learning how to watercolor, and so she drew this vampire and watercolored him from scratch. Isn't that amazing? Such a good job. Cheryl, we gotta talk. You're learning new things, and I want you to pull me alongside you. This is another little Halloween card, but I love how it's so bright and happy with the little florals and the kitty. Everybody would know. This is from Pammy Lou. So cute. So cute. I'm going to apologize in advance if you hear my cats outside the door because they're not happy that I closed the door since they've just seen me. I just got home last night. So this is from our friend Wanda. You get to see her cards every month because she and her husband have a little card ministry and they send out cards every single month. It's always something different and seasonal. So cute how you put that together, Wanda. Thank you so much. Love it. Love this monochromatic card. And this is from Lori. And I'm showing you this because I guess, I don't know where I've been. I don't know where I've been, but apparently an embossed piece of paper protects your card better than just a plain piece of paper. If you have embellishments on it or ribbon where putting it in the envelope, you don't want those pieces to come through when your envelope gets processed, right? And if it's not too thick that you need the extra postage on it, one thing you can do is put a piece of paper over your front, which I usually do, but somewhere I just read on another demonstrator, from another demonstrator, I don't remember if it was on YouTube or Facebook, that if you emboss a piece of paper, then it works even better. So you clearly know this because I've been getting a lot of embossed piece of papers with my card. So thank you for me learning something. So anyway, I just want to show you this beautiful monochromatic purple card. I love it, Lori. So good. That monochromatic. This is from Julie. I like how you put together the beautiful gallery paper with this bouquet of flowers and just left it kind of generic so that you could use this for any occasion. And then she's got everything trimmed with the gold paper, which really elevates everything. So makes it look extra special. A little embossing. Thank you, Julie. Hello, Stephanie's crafting and watching. Yay. Hi, Cheryl Sorensen. I'm so glad you're here today. This is from Brenda. I'm going to show you the back too. She decorated the back. We just did this on the last Papercrafting Playdate. We did these bandstand cards in 2 different ways, and she sent me this beautiful one. Hers has that lovely acrylic sheet or transparency sheet on the inside so that she could mount the Christmas bulbs, and then they look like they're floating. It's beautiful. I love the plaid too. Great card, Brenda. And then last but not least, this is from Anita Ritchie. She's a fellow demonstrator. Isn't this beautiful? This paper was around a couple years ago during the fall and Christmas season, and it had all those beautiful greens in there. Such a beautiful layout too. But you have to look at the envelope because she said her husband decorates the envelopes for her to match her card. So I don't know if you can see this. It's hand lettering and then it's colored in with markers, and then there's some gold pen. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that so much. Thank you, Anita. Thank you for your sweet message too. I'm just lucky if I get the cards in the mail. So I really think that's very special. Okay, I'm going to stand up and we're going to get busy with our card template. So like I said, I've just been out of town, and then there's been other things that have been happening in my world that were out of my control. And so this is the first play date we've had in November so far. And so I am just going to say that I might not be as prepared as usual, but I didn't want to miss another Playdate. So this is Shannon West. She is a demonstrator development manager. She works for Stampin' Up! And she's a good friend. She is actually over the Midwest, part of the Midwest demonstrators. And so her job is to help demonstrators with whatever they need. And so she and a fellow employee, they did a little presentation on some new product, and they used this template. And so I asked to get a picture of her card because I knew that I wanted to share this template with you today. So I'm calling it Layered 4 Squares because I like to name my templates, but it's just so easy. And all you need are two 2-inch squares. So it takes 4 2-inch squares and then a card base. And then if you want to, you can add a trimmed piece of designer series paper or cardstock to layer on that card front. Okay, so really you just need a card base and 4 2-inch squares. So this is so easy. What is exciting about it is just how they layer together. So let's get started on that. Sometimes when I see a card template, I get really excited because I see like the ways that it can be used over and over again, but in different, the flexibility of it. And I just almost get like butterflies when I see a really good card template because I know how valuable they are to me for using them. So we're going to start with some Christmas paper, because I think this is a really great template if you still have Christmas cards to make. This one's nice and easy and doable. Now, most of you, because I've seen your comments, that you are already done with your Christmas cards and you've been working on them and you're amazing. I can never get mine started until it starts to turn to the holiday season. So I am always last minute with those cards. Unfortunately, for me, it's me making it harder for me. I have some made, but I don't have the majority of them made. So I am looking forward to using this template, is my point, with my Christmas cards because it'll allow me so much flexibility. So I'm going to start with this modern Christmas paper. It's one of my favorites so far in this season. One side has the gorgeous foil. It's gold foiled, and then everything else is black and white. And then the B sides are just pure black and white. A lot of those patterns are plain in that doesn't really have to be for the holidays. You can use these for any occasion. Okay, so I'm going to use a black card base. And then these are the 4 pieces that I picked out. So the other thing that I love is that you have the you can put 4 different patterns together. And so when you're thinking about hi Julie, hi Cheryl, when you're thinking about your patterns, just pick out 4 that go together. And so for this particular card, I picked out 2 that were just black and white, and then 2 that have some of the gold in it so that they would kind of, work together. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I am going to put a piece, I'm going to put a plainer piece. Now I know it's polka dot, so it's not plain, on the background of my card front. All right, so now we're going to just arrange these. And what's fun about this template is that you start with one of the squares, and then you go counterclockwise, and you layer them on top of one another, so that the last one is going to be, you're going to see the full effect of the pattern, and the other three are going to be kind of hidden behind each other. But it just makes a nice little cluster of squares that is very unique. Okay, so what you can do after you print out your template is play with them so that you can see which one you want to be on top. Now, there's no hard and fast rule. You can start with any one, but I kind of liked this piece right here to be the focal point, or the one that's going to pop up, because it's kind of in that beautiful little, like a third down from the top of the card, and then like a third over. It's kind of in that corner. That is a nice place. But you'll see with some of the samples that I've changed it around. So you can decide which one do you want to be on the top. So you just fiddle with it until you like it. Okay, I think I liked it the first way. So when you glue these down, you've got your template to kind of guide you, but each of the squares is about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge of the designer series paper. So you can use that as your guide to help get your squares straight. Okay, so this first one kind of goes over here. And then so I'm starting here, we're going to go counterclockwise. I want this one to overlap that corner of number 1 here. And we want to line it up about 1/4 inch away. Okay, and then this one is going to overlap a little bit differently. It's going to just take a little bit off of the, cover a little bit of the top of this square. And then the last one is going to overlap all 3. I think I like it this way. Oh, good. Terry's brain already went into overdrive with the options for this template. Thank you, because mine did too. And that's why I was like, we have to do this today. So now I'm just making sure that this one is going to cover all 3, but I'm still going to see the corner here. So I could raise it up a little bit like that. And so we've got them, these 2 are kind of offset. These 2 are offset, but because the card is a rectangle and not a square, they're not layered offset like evenly, if you know what I mean. They're, because it's not a square card. Okay, so now keeping it really easy today with our Greetings for You Mix and Match ephemera, since we've got the gold going on. Your focal point, whether it's your greeting or you want to put a stamped image on this template, can really go anywhere. You can put it on the one that's popped out, or you can kind of overlap. So let's just try a couple different things. This paper is very busy, so I'm going to try to keep the greeting just real simple. So if we did something like this, Okay, we could just kind of layer that kind of in between along the edge there. Put some embellishments. Or we could use a circle. So this circle is just representative of anything that you, any shape, any kind of greeting, any kind of image that you want to add to this background. So we could kind of center that in there, in the square. Hi, Lori. We could have it overlap like that right in the middle, which I think that's what I'm going to do. But I just wanted to show you some of the options here. If you've got a little tag, a little flagged tag, you can kind of put that in there, add a little greenery. I kind of like that one too. Maybe we'll do this one. Okay, so these are self-adhesive, but since I haven't popped anything up, I'm going to actually pop this up. So it'll give a little distance between it and the busy, because there's a lot of gold going on here. Put that right there. We'll use the black, and we'll just add a little bit of that pop of the black. Now my mind immediately after spinning with delight after seeing this layout also went to a scrapbook layout, and that I'm disappointed because I ran out of time to put a scrapbook page together for this video, but it's on my list now, so I'm definitely going to try this with larger squares on a 12 by 12 piece. Okay, so I'm just giving that greeting a little pop by putting that bow back there. And then you've got these great little corners here for your embellishments. And so you can choose something. I mean, always 3 looks good. If you put 2 in one in the other. I think I want these are a little bit more gold. These are just the metallic gems. They're some of my favorite because they come in silver, copper, and gold. So we'll put a large and a small down there, and then a large up there. And they are, because all the papers are kind of busy, they're not going to pop as much as some other ones might. Okay, let's hold that up. Okay, so we're going to make this again, and we're just going to kind of talk about all the things you can do to make it different, okay? That's what we do. We'd make it over and over again. I'm going to use, not on this one, but coming up, some of the products in the November online exclusives that just were released on the 5th. And so this PDF is actually available to download if you want a paper copy of what was released. All of this you can look up in the online store, but these are the newest releases from November 5th. And just go to my blog, reallyrobinstamps.com, and then there's a picture on the sidebar of this, and you can download it if you want to. So this looks like there's a lot more things than there are, because they're showing it as a bundle, and then they're showing the separate pieces, and then they're showing everything separate on these 2 pages. So it's not quite as much different product as it appears on the PDF. Okay, we're gonna make this one again with some more Christmas themed paper. This is the Traditions of Christmas, I believe it's called. And it just came back in the store. It was on back order for a little bit. Again, this one's foiled. So this makes it so easy with this template, because that little bit of foiling adds so much to the design. But I'm going to show you some that's not foiled. So no worries. You can use any paper with this. Those are the A sides. Here are the B sides, which I almost like the B sides better. I love this color combination of Old Olive, Real Red, and Secret Sea. Actually, I think it might be, I think Real Red and Cherry Cobbler are both in this paper for the shading on these beautiful poinsettias. Okay, so let's just talk cost for a minute, or getting the most out of your paper. So let's say you want to use this for mass producing cards. If you choose 4 pieces of paper that go together, and you cut them all into 2-inch squares, you're going to get 36 2-inch squares. Yes, I had to recheck my math. You're going to get 36 of them from one piece. So that gives you a lot of flexibility in order to make a bunch of cards with not even using a whole package of designer series paper. If you're using 6x6, you can get 9 squares per piece. Okay, so this one, I'm going to make this one without this layered piece here, because we're thinking kind of budget friendly on this one. And so instead of that, we're going to do a little stamping. So I'm going to bring in the Christmas Greenery stamp set, and I'm just picking this little floral bundle. And we're just going to have that peeking out from our squares. These are the 4 that I chose for this. And so I tried to pick things that coordinated, but were different, so that different things would pop. And so there's one that's kind of plain. There's 2 that have some foiling on them. And then there's one with a nice, like, solid stripe or a plaid. And so I think I want this one to be on the top, because I'm going to put a greeting there. So I'm going to start with this red one, and then we'll end with the blue. Now, because I am not using this piece, that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, these are going to be spread out just a little bit farther, because when you're using this template, it's actually a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and do it a 1/4 inch just to show you, but you could smush these in. Smush them in, that's not really, you could move them in a 1/2 inch so that they don't, so they aren't spread out. See, now that's how this only overlaps a little bit. So our stamping shows up kind of popping out from behind. Oops. I was going to do something with this last one. Okay, so thankfully that was liquid glue and I could pull that right off. So if you want to, of course, you can layer these. That's like the no-brainer thing to do when you've got a template. You can add more layers with your pieces. So if the designer series paper is 2 inches, you can make a 2 1/8 inch square to mat your layers all the way around. I'm going to do 1 because I wanted this one to pop even more. And then I'm actually going to use dimensionals and pop it up. So this is kind of my card that I was thinking like as a, if you're mass producing cards and you want kind of a budget friendly layout, but still one that's so interesting, you can just add one little extra layer, pop that one out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use these again because they're right here. I love that little joy. I think that's what we're going to use. Since I already popped up the square, I can stick this down. So I'm going to keep this super simple, but you can see how you could add more if you wanted to. You could add extra little branches coming out, add ribbon. So we'll put 2 here and 1 up there. Okay, it's always beautiful when you've got 3 sizes of your embellishments to do that. I really wish I could hear your comments. And what you're thinking. What is the paper right now that you're like, oh my goodness, I want to do that. All right, so let me just show you some other ideas here before we make our last card together. So this is with the Autumn Toile paper. So even though this was the counterclockwise, the last one that popped, I went ahead and put the focal point over here because this square here was kind of plain, where these had more of the color. And so I wanted that to kind of bounce off, and I wanted to see this whole piece because that's just my favorite piece of that paper. Here's my next fall card. So this one I did differently. This one I started here, laying that one as the first card, or first square. I did not get any sleep last night. Can you tell I can hardly speak? My cat decided, because he was so happy that I was home, he played with a toy on top of me all night. He was traumatized, I guess. So I started with this square and went clockwise this way so that this one would be the one. So there's no hard and fast rule with this. You can start anywhere. You just have to, arrange your papers in a way that you like. So this one I put kind of right in the middle, that focal point. Okay, this one I did similar to this Christmas card here. where I popped this piece up and then just added a little bit of the ephemera. If you have this package of paper, or if you were part of the paper share where you got some of this, these little, you've got the ephemera, of course, but one of the sheets in here has these little cute little rectangles that you can cut down. They're already 2 inches wide, so you can cut them down and get a little 2-inch piece to use, which is what I did with this one. And then this one is done with the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. And instead of the pieces, I just used the glimmer paper. And this one we ran through an embossing folder with that paper. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. So let me grab the papers that we're going to use. Having fun with this Creative Haven paper. Let me show you where that's at. It's one of the suites in this new online exclusive. I'm sorry, this is called Hobby Haven, but the suite is called Hobby Haven. Where did I get? Oh, Creative Haven is the name of the stamp set. Okay, so all of these products are coordinated to go together, but of course you can just get them separately as well. So the paper has different hobbies on it. Reading and cooking, crafting, plants, and then some really fun color patterns. So many colors in this paper. I just pulled a piece of cardstock from all the colors that were listed on this paper, and it's really a nice array of basic colors. So what this tells me is you can use this paper with pretty much anything you have. Okay, so we're going to use crumb cake as our card base. And then I picked out just 4 kind of plain pieces. And I only picked out 2 designer series paper pieces, and then I did 2 cardstock squares because I thought we could mix it up a little bit. And so for this one, we're going to just layer cardstock on cardstock here. And then we're going to emboss it. Okay, so let's try. We're going to separate these. I'm going to put that one. So we're going to separate the 2 patterns and do the cardstock over here. Okay, so before we add the last one, which I'm going to emboss on, I'm going to send this through the embossing folder just like this. And so you'll see how it kind of makes this layer more cohesive, and it kind of falls a little bit behind the one that pops up even more. So it's a way that you can create a little bit extra space. Okay, this is a 3D folder. So we just need our base plate, and we need this embossing plate, the green one. Okay, so this is great for everybody who loves little quilty kind of embossed backgrounds. This is a beautiful, beautiful little, what would you call it? I mean, it's kind of like diamond shapes, but it's squares with a little, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's cute. It's a beautiful pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. All right, so now these three are kind of embossed together, like they're quilted together. And so our last one is going to pop out even more. And we're going to put our greeting on here, and we're going to emboss it. So I am using the Creative Haven stamp set. I'm going to use this You're the Best. And we're going to make that pop out with some white embossing powder. So I just took any oils or static electricity off of my paper with the embossing buddy, and now I'm using Versamark ink to ink our greeting. And then this is my white powder. I love the simplicity of this, but also just because it's a little bit unexpected, I think, because the arrangement seems random, even though we have a plan here. So the Hobby Haven paper, what I didn't show you, is there are 2 sheets of this ephemera that comes in this package of Designer Series paper. And so I've punched out one of the sheets already And I just like to keep it in a little envelope or something. That way I can just kind of dump it out and look at all the pieces. And so I already went through them and I picked pieces, little images that were kind of the Coastal Cabana or the brown. And then I was just going to see what was going to fit on here. I love this little apron. Wouldn't that be cute to just stick the little apron on there for somebody who made you dinner? We've got the little coffee machine, which I thought was so cute. A little cup of coffee. Some books. Just put all the books over there. Oh, so cute. Got some plants. I kind of like that. Let's see how this one looks. I think when I laid this out, I was going to actually lay it out a little bit differently. Oh, let's get crazy. Let's just pull this off and we'll turn this card this way. And then we'll make this work with our little plants right there. I like that much better. And I'm going to use these neutral matte dots. And I think we'll make the white pop out. Although they do have ivory too. That would be kind of subtle. Actually, the brown would look great too. Too many decisions. Now, don't forget, if you have stylish shapes, the best. Oh, I was going to use these. I was going to use these brown. This is part of that suite, and it's got the two shades of the brown in there. The third, the square that is right in the middle, this is a 2-inch square. So if you want to give your squares a nice little edge to them, you can not, obviously if you're mass producing, but if you're just making one or two, then you could do that, and that would be really cute. And then I wanted to just show you to think outside the box. So this is the die set that comes with the Creative Haven bundle. And so we've got these fun tags and the banner, this kind of fun little oval that can be made into a tag too. So if you had something that was kind of square, this is almost square, you could mix it up and use a different, a slightly different shaped die if you wanted to. So I'm not going to finish this card right here, but I just wanted you to see. So like you could do something completely different with the template. Just use it as a backdrop and then make it work for whatever you have. All right, let's bring our cards back. I have some samples, some more samples. And I'm thinking with the scrapbook page, it'd be really fun to have, probably some 4-inch squares that would make it larger on a piece of paper. Okay, so this one is with the elegant pine cones. And I did the same thing as I just did here. in that I embossed the first 3 squares with the plaid folder and then layered and popped up the last one, the last square. And then these 2 were made with the new Brushed with Beauty Designer Series paper. It has a beautiful floral to it. So it's a great way, like here, these are all very different squares, color-wise. But I thought with just a kind of nice two-toned paper, you could make something that also looks very, you know, elegant. So you can kind of really change it just by what designer series paper you're using and how you layer it. I think this would be a beautiful little wedding card or birthday card. This one's not even layered, it's just popped up. Okay, let's bring them all back, and then maybe you can share with me what your favorite version is. And what paper are you going to use first with this template? And let's just all thank Shannon for sharing this, because I had so much fun with it. Let me back that up a little bit. Okay, there they are. We did it. Honestly, this one's speaking to me. I think because I turned it a little bit different. That one's one of my favorites. I also really love how this one came out. I'm going to make a bunch more of those. Hey, Judy. Julie likes the Brushed with Beauty cards. Thank you. Tony likes the Peaceful Garden and the Modern Christmas. Yay to Shannon West. I agree. Pat. Hello, Pat. She likes the one with the holly and the dove. Yeah, these papers are so beautiful. Can't wait to make a bunch with that. Yep, that's the cool thing. Judy says I'll use whatever scraps I can find, and that's it. This is a good scrap card. Great idea. All right, so if you're watching this live, thank you so much for being here and for participating in the chat and with your stamping friends. This PDF is not uploaded yet, but if you're watching this on the replay later, it'll be ready. So just look for that. If you're on my email list, I actually email you the template, the PDF in my weekly email, so you can find it that way. Yep, Michelle says, when I first saw the template, I didn't think it was for me, but the samples swayed her. She thinks she can try it. Thank you so much. Debbie likes the emboss layer. Yes. Cindy likes the black, white, and gold. It's such a weird, yes, it is a weird combination for Christmas, but yes, a New Year's card, beautiful idea. Pam likes the joy one. To join my email list, there will be a link in this video. You can go to any of my videos. There's nothing in the description box for this video just quite yet. There will be very soon, but there's a link to sign up for my email list. Great. Can't wait to make some. Okay, that's your assignment. I was reminded this week in Vegas that as a card maker, what we do is really important for the people who are the recipients of our cards. And it's also important to share crafting with other people, because it's something we can do together, something we can do with our hands. and something that the byproduct of is joy, whether you're making the cards or whether you're receiving the cards. And so I hope that you will make some of these super easy cards, or just send some cards this week. Set yourself a goal to send a card in the mail and make somebody's day better. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you will have a great weekend until I see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.